Broker IPTV.
Today we're talking with Melissa Olson from Metrolist. She's the Senior Marketing Manager and in charge of sales at Metrolist. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thanks for being here. All right, today we're talking about our individual Metrolist accounts and something called impersonation. Now, I think we know what impersonation is on the outside. What does it mean to real estate Metrolist?
Sure. So impersonation in Metrolist means that you can assign or grant rights to somebody else in your office to work on your behalf, and they can also grant you rights to work on their behalf.
So as you and I were discussing off camera here, what we're essentially saying is I work with another team member, and the two of us are a team. Gary and I are a team, and I'm frequently logging in under his MLS ID to work on some of our co-listed properties. He's logging into my MLS ID to work on my our co-listed properties. But what you're saying is I could just log in under my ID. As long as Gary is selected as one of my team members, I can see that and work on that inventory as well.
Right. Correct. So when you go in, you log in with your ID, and as you know, we've been sending out a lot of messaging lately about not sharing your username and passwords. Everybody should have their own account. So you should log in with your own account, Dan. And then from the after Gary has given you the permissions or the rights to work on his behalf through impersonation, you can log in as yourself, and then you choose Gary's profile, and then you work on behalf of Gary in the system. So if you wanted to maintain the listings, if you want to run searches, if you want to create CMAs, all that would show up under Gary's profile and in his search history, save searches, save CMAs, things like that.
Okay, because he'll say to me, listen, we're going to go out and we're going to meet somebody and we need to do some homework. And so we go and do all the comparable information, and I may do it under mine. But you're saying I could include him when I'm doing my searches and comparable information, and it'll show up in his profile as well?
No, you would have to, no, you wouldn't exactly include him in there. You would sign in, and you would work on behalf of Gary. So everything you did in the system would have Gary's information on it. So if you're listing, or if you're doing a search and you wanted to create some reports, Gary's information and branding would show up on all of those reports. If you sent an email on Gary's behalf, it looks like it's coming from Gary's email address and not Dan's email address. Okay,
what about personnel or administrative staff and so forth in the office? How does this work for them?
Right, sure. So if you also grant permissions to somebody who has an admin account, they could also log in and impersonate you. So for example, if you wanted them to run a search on your behalf and create a report or send emails for you, they could do that, and then it looks like it's coming from Dan Palomino, even though they did the work for you.
All right, so husband and wife teams, how does this already affect current teams in place and things of that nature?
Right, exactly. So with a husband and wife team, they may want to put all their listings under one account or the other account so that they can syndicate them out using just a single user account, and that would allow husband and wife teams or two-person teams to really work together collaboratively in the system, log in as themselves, but then be able to access the other person's profile, the other person's saved work, and then revert back to themselves and then do the work on their behalf on their own account as well.
All right, so another example is Gary and I have 20 listings. He has 10 under his ID, I have 10 under my ID. What you're saying is we can merge those into a team profile?
That's another feature of PrimeAccess that we recently launched. And you could set up a team account, and then that way all the work could be done under the team account, and it would look as though it's being marketed as the team and not as the individual.
Good information. Thanks. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.